rolling. All right. What's up? Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I personally don't care, but thank God it's Friday for y'all who care. Today's Q&A. I want you to bring your hottest questions, your most burning questions, like whatever you want to know the most about fitness, whatever you want to know the most about not only me. Whoa, let's flip this one over here. How do I flip this fucking flip camera? Boom. TikTok. Yikes. Yeah, so we're going to bring your hottest questions today. This is how this is going to work. You're going to bring your hottest questions today. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to answer them. All right? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to answer these questions today because I know that you guys and girls have questions and you ask me them every time you see me. So I'm going to take advantage of the time today on today's live stream to answer some questions as we go along, of course, and at the end. But the way we're going to start this off is I'm actually going to answer 5 of my most frequently asked questions just for your sake, so that if you want to ask them, they're probably going to be answered in the first segment of this live stream, so that you may not ask them later on, or I might answer a question that you have and then you think of another question that you want to ask that I may not be answering, so you can stick around, drop your questions and comments as I go along, and add on to what I'm saying. I'll check it out at the end of the live stream. All right? What's up, Sheldon? I see you. But before we dive in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin the chat over here so we know what we're talking about on Instagram. And then I'm going to talk about the 5 most commonly asked questions that I get when it comes to fitness, all right? And it's not going to be like all bodybuilding shit, trust me. Because I get a lot of people that are, and I'm not trying to say this to belittle anyone, but a lot of average looking people or people that are overweight, got some chub on their gut, ask me these questions a lot. And I'm just going to sit here, answer these questions, and give everyone a chance to learn a thing or two real quick. Again, it's not going to be a super long live stream unless you guys ask me a jillion questions, but I will be hopping off in about 20 minutes, so you know what's up. All right? So the first question, okay, the first question that I get most commonly asked is, and this was sort of something that I talked about earlier on in the week, so this is kind of ironic, but I really felt it'd be important to talk about, is when should I have a cheat meal? Okay, so when should I have a cheat meal? That's one of the one of the most common questions that I get, one of the more common ones that I get. And the answer to that is first of all, well, let's look at it. What do you consider to be a cheat meal? Is it eating more of the food that you're already eating when it comes to healthy home cooked food, or is it junk food? I know on a balance of probabilities, it's most likely going to be junk food. Okay, so there's 2 different sort of meanings to cheat food, in my opinion. Well, at least for myself and my clients, right? So there's a refeed where I refeed my clients, and the refeed essentially is just giving them more food that they've been eating consistently for the last few weeks or months, to fill up their glycogen storages, satiate them, and of course fill them out. Typically this is the leaner clients. These are leaner clients that are they got muscle, they already got shredded, and I'm sort of reverse dieting them into a place where they can be full, have some nice round muscle bellies, and of course get to indulge in some more food as they've been sort of suffering, we'll say, for X amount of time to get to that level of conditioning and to burn that much fat, right? So there is giving them more rice, chicken, and turkey or whatever it is that's under 80% side on what I was talking about earlier in the week. 80% clean, 20% sort of freestyle junk food. I'll feed them more of that and then keep their 20% the same, so they eat their snacks throughout the pre or post workout. The Rice Krispies, the Pop Tarts, things like that. A pizza once in a week, if their body is deserving of it. And when I say that, I'm not saying oh, you've been a good client and I'm going to give you some pizza because you've been good. No, it's when your body could use a refeed, which is sort of when you get really, really flat, you're really you start losing a lot of energy, and you're feeling like you're dragging yourself through each and every single day, even when applying the 80-20% rule, right? And that's a sign of, because the body is rejecting, being in the deficit for so long, or at least going down continuously. So we need to flip that around and slowly get them back up. But we're going to spike their insulin, going to spike their sugar levels, everything, by giving them a refeed, keeping them satiated, giving them that energy back, and then moving forward. But anyway, just to put this into a nutshell, to make this super simple for you guys and girls, and I hope you're having an amazing day as well. To make this super simple, you shouldn't have to cheat on your diet. You should already be incorporating the foods that you actually like, even if they're junk foods, every here and then. Especially if you're not a competitor, especially if you're not an athlete of any sort. I would recommend. So, for example, what it will look like for me is, so when I say 80% clean, 20% freestyle, it's like, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I pretty much eat the same things. The only thing I'd really mix up when it comes to my junk food would be Pop Tarts, Rice Krispies, things like that. And I have that around my workout because it's pre and post workout carbs, easily ingested, hits my system quickly, replenishes my glycogen, gives me that nice spike, and again satiates my sweet tooth, right? And then towards the weekend, out of all the meals that I'll have, I'll still have most of my meals, but I'll leave maybe 2 or 3 spots out, 2 or 3 meals out, depending on how big I want this pizza, or if I'm going to do wings with the pizza, or if I'm going to do like garlic bread and wings and pizza, right? So I may eat 3 meals, 4 meals on Saturday, and then the fifth and sixth would be one large pizza and whatever the fuck I'm getting with that pizza. And that's like how I apply my 80-20% rule. And again, like with the perspective of, okay, well, where's my body saying right now, right? Am I looking like thinner? Am I looking flatter? Are my energy levels down? Do I want to eat the pizza? Like, because you can incorporate it and not want to eat the junk food and then just eat the junk food anyway, right? There has to be a method to your madness, right? Like there has to be a method to your madness, right? So for myself, I on Saturdays usually, I would throw in a pizza that would take over meals 5 and 6, right? And it's like once a week at most, twice, right? And that's just because I don't need it, and I honestly don't crave the foods a lot, those like junk foods a lot, simply because I actually incorporate them. Like I don't like wait till I'm craving pizza to eat pizza. I'm like, what's convenient? Have I had it in a while? I don't put that much of an emphasis on it where it's like, oh, it's junk food, I can't eat it, I shouldn't eat it. I don't do that, right? So that answers your question. When should I cheat on my diet? You shouldn't. Your diet should incorporate foods that are junk, quote unquote. Your diet should be, it should be sustainable enough for you to like stick to it and not want to deviate from it. Make sense? All right, so that's your answer on when should I cheat on my diet. All right, so another common question that I get asked, and keep dropping your questions and comments. I will get to them at the end of my live stream. And I see Miriam. Hey girl, what's up? I said, Brian, what's good? Another question that I get that's like honestly asked all the time: how many meals should I eat? Okay, like how many meals should I eat? And you know what? I'm gonna answer that question that you asked, Miriam, because it sort of like ties into it. Um, I'll be honest with you. For myself, I'm not a big eater. Like growing up, I was not a big eater. It's just not something that I was just never a big eater, right? I was like a skinny kid growing up, right? So in order for me to grow, it was kind of difficult. Like I'm just not a big eater, right? And to answer the question of how many meals should you eat, it's all dependent on what exactly your goal is. Like we know that, of course, you want to build muscle or you want to burn fat. Maybe you want to do both at the same time. Okay, well, whatever it is, you want to focus on growing, you want to focus on losing, whatever it is. Your diet has to be, or I'll say your nutrition protocol has to be aligned with what exactly you're trying to do, gaining or losing body mass in whatever way, shape, or form. And then with that, based off of your eating habits, based off of your circadian rhythm, based off of your digestive system, based off of your work schedule, you need to find a practical layout for you to follow that can help you stay consistent with getting the overall amount of macros and calories that's required to lose weight or gain muscle, right? And everybody has their own specific number, right? Everybody has their own specific number. And to be honest with you, Miriam, I do count my macros, right? But I'm like, it's like the only time I really count them is when I'm getting ready for a show, because my macros will change a lot. Like my carbs will go up and down and everywhere. My protein sort of stays the same. The fats will go change a little bit. But for the most part, in my off season, I pretty much memorized what my macros are and what that looks like in the food that I'm cooking. So I'm not actually counting them, because I know that if I eat X, Y, Z meals, I will be, meeting my quota for protein, carbs, and fats, and of course my calories overall, simply because I've been doing it so long, and I can just like, I already know what it is. Like, I know 300 grams of rice equals X amount of carbs, 7 ounces of chicken or turkey equals X amount of protein, so on and so forth. And to play with that is nothing for me, right? So only when I'm getting ready for a show, when I'm going 150 grams of rice or lower than that, 90 or 80 grams, depending on how close I am to the show, that's like when I'll actually measure out and count. Okay, shoot, like, I'm getting ready for the show. I've got X amount of pounds to lose. I'm doing this much cardio. I'm going to drop my carbs down to this. And then I start playing around and counting my macros meticulously. But aside from that, to answer the question that I get asked a lot, how many meals should I eat in order to gain muscle? I would say it's not about the amount of meals, it's about the overall amount of macros and calories that you're going to be consuming on a consistent basis. So if that looks like 3 large meals for you, that's 3 large meals for you. If it looks like 6 small meals for you, that's 6 small meals for you. Whatever fits your schedule, whatever fits your, your digestive patterns. Like, if you get hungry frequently, you're most likely going to want to eat smaller meals and graze throughout the day. I personally would say, from my personal experience, it's kind of better to eat smaller meals and spread them out throughout the day, but not everybody has the time or the Tupperware to measure out their food and do 6 meals in a day, or you're at work and you don't get enough breaks to be eating all the, that frequently. So you've got to like combine a few meals and eat larger meals instead of 6 small ones. You can have 3 large ones. Again, whatever works best with your schedule and helps you hit your quota when it comes to your macronutrients, which is protein, carbs, and fats, as well as calories. All right, so that's the answer on the question, how many meals should I eat every day? Okay, so another one that I get asked a lot is, and again, when you guys and girls join, do not hesitate to ask questions or drop comments or add on to what I'm saying as I go along. All of y'all, I'm talking Insta, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Don't be afraid. I don't bite, right? I'm here to actually answer your questions today for another 10 minutes, right? So another one that I get asked a lot, right? Another one of the top 5 questions I get asked a lot is, how do I get rid of or flatten like your gut? Like, how do I get a 6-pack? How do I flatten my gut? Like, what are the few things that I have to do, or what is that number one thing that I've got to do in order to flatten my gut and get a 6-pack? That's a question I get asked way too often, right? Like, it should be like, it's probably the top 2 questions I ever get asked, right? And if you don't already know, guys and girls, if you don't already know, the answer to this question lies strictly in the kitchen, right? Strictly in the kitchen. The people that ask me those questions typically don't follow any sort of like nutrition protocol. They don't really have any discipline when it comes to nutrition. And I'm not saying this to knock them. I'm not saying this to belittle anybody, but I'm telling you, guys and girls, they don't really, and this might be you, right? Like, be honest with yourself, be honest with me. Like, this might be you, right? Like, let's be honest. In order to get your gut to flatten out, to get that 6-pack, the number one thing you need to be doing, and it's so simple, is making sure you're in a caloric deficit. That's the number one thing. That's like the first thing. And there's another thing that's really important, but that's the first thing. Okay? To make sure you're in a caloric deficit. Okay? So once you are in a caloric deficit, and just to really summarize it for you guys and girls that don't know what a caloric deficit is, it's eating less than the amount of calories that you're burning. So you're burning a lot more calories than you're consuming, which means you also have to be active. Yeah? Doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and kill it. It means you have to just be more active and burn more calories than you were burning before. Just to keep it simple. You don't even have to go hard and burn a certain amount of calories. Just get into a routine where you're burning calories daily, and your body will follow the rhythm when your nutrition accompanies, that sort of behavior of like going out, being active, burning calories. Now your nutrition is tweaked in a way where you're not getting a surplus of calories, and you're not getting a maintenance level of calories. You're getting enough to allow your body to feed on its fat storages. You're getting enough, just enough, to keep you full, but keep you burning fat. But of course, you got to be active to burn that fat, right? So when you are in that routine, consistently you'll see 1, 2, 3 pounds even, body weight, body fat coming off each and every single week, right? And then when you start to see that, it's like a snowball effect. It's like a compound effect. Over time, you will watch that weight go down. You'll see that gut shrink. You'll see the inches come down. It's not going to happen immediately, but it's going to happen inevitably. Should you be staying active, sweating daily, like you do a daily walk. Just walking alone, 10 minutes a day, you walk every single day. It's more activity than you were doing before. So believe me, your body's going to start like honoring that. It's going to notice that, and you're going to begin burning more calories. And then if you get a nutrition protocol or hook one up for yourself, where you're not allowing yourself to overindulge and get over that number when it comes to calories, and you stay under your maintenance level of calorie consumption, you lose the weight. And again, for everybody, those variables are very different depending on your height, depending on your activity levels, depending on so many other variables. Your calories and your macros will be like comprised of those things, from those variables, right? So to get rid of your gut, to flatten it, to get your six pack, and again, every human being has a six pack. Every human being has a six pack. Think of it as shit. Anything, any muscle, literally. Like we all have thighs, right? And when I say thighs, I'm really talking about quads and hamstrings. Like every human being has that. It's the same with abs. You just can't see it because there's a lot of subcutaneous fat and water that's covering it, that protrudes, right? But every human being does have a six pack. Just like how we have thigh muscles. It's a part of, our anatomical build. But to reveal it, you need to get lower than a certain point when it comes to your body fat percentage. Okay, you don't have to be under 10%. Honestly, you can have abs at 12% body fat, 15% body fat. They may not be as deep, but they'll be there. They'll start to reveal. And as you get lower down the scale when it comes to body fat percentage, it'll start revealing more and more. All right? So that answers that question. How do I get rid of my gut or flatten it or sort of get that six pack? Focus on your nutrition. And actually, just to add on top of that, if you have any gluten intolerances or diet intolerances, you have to be aware of that. You have to be cognitive of that, simply because if you are not aware of the fact that you may have like a gluten intolerance or whatever dietary intolerance, it could be bloating you and or causing inflammation in your gastrointestinal area, like in your guts. Like you're probably experiencing inflammation and bloating because you're eating foods that you're not supposed to be eating, right? So get your blood work done, get your general checkup, then just get tested. Go to a nutritionist, have someone sort you out, because when you get that information back, it'll tell you the foods that you shouldn't be eating, like certain breads, right, that have lectins in it. And for those of you guys and girls that don't know what lectins are, it's a certain type of protein that scars the inner lining of your gastrointestinal tract, which can cause what is called leaky gut, right, and causes nutrients to slip out, and it causes you to bloat. It's nonsense. It's horrible. It sucks. And some people have it. Typically, people with gluten intolerances have it, and it fucks with their stomach and their ability to digest food. Right, so that could be another reason, because you could be doing everything right when it comes to being in a deficit, when it comes to being active, and some people even want to take the step ahead and train your abs. I personally don't believe you have to train your abs to even get the six pack, because we all have a six pack. You know what I'm saying? And I personally don't train my abs. Like I just don't. It's not something I do. Right, so I'm just telling you guys and girls, be aware of those two things: caloric deficit and any food intolerances. Gluten specifically is the one that gets a lot of people. They don't know it. All right, so pay attention to that. All right, so let's talk about somebody put them glasses on me on TikTok. That is funny. I appreciate you. And I'm going to be reading your comments at the end. Don't you worry. So keep dropping them and your questions as well. All right, so I'm going to answer another one that I get asked a lot. This one is kind of funny, but it's realistic, and I understand why you'd ask it. All right, do bodybuilders drink alcohol? Like, do athletes or bodybuilders like me drink alcohol? Short, sweet answer, hell yeah. From time to time, I enjoy a fucking drink or two. Like, I'm a human being. Like, bodybuilders are human beings, right? And to answer this, or to sort of make this something that you can relate to, and even for most of my clients that do drink, you can still lose body fat and drink alcohol. Of course, you're not going to fucking make a nutrition protocol that involves alcohol in it, because alcohol does dehydrate you. And depending on what you're drinking, if it's like a liquor or it's like a beer, that can have adverse effects on you, right? The beer typically tends to bloat you, and again, it's empty calories. You don't want to be consistently consuming empty calories. It's not good for you, simply put. But bodybuilders actually, just to be a little bit specific, and myself included, they have this thing called death juice, where it's like the night before we hop on stage, because we understand the properties of alcohol and how alcohol can dehydrate you in a sense and rid you of subcutaneous water under the skin, get your skin a little bit tighter. And again, it only works when you're already like sub 7% body fat. We would mix, usually it's like a vodka and a wine, and then we'd shake it up and drink it. It's called a death drink, death juice. Shout out to Brett Godin, my old coach. He showed me that trick. And you wake up in the morning, you literally pee out the water under your skin, and you're like bone fucking dry. You go on stage, you just look like a granite statue, right? So that's bodybuilders actually do drink alcohol, even like right on stage. Yeah. Who else does it? So Kevin Levrone. If you know bodybuilding, back in the '90s, showed Ronnie Coleman, the 8-time Mr. O, a little trick where he got black coffee and vodka, poured it in there. The caffeine gave him the energy, and also caffeine does have thermogenic properties, if you didn't know that already. And the alcohol dried him out. So, and again, caffeine does dry you out as well. So it gave him like a crazy grainy look. So bodybuilders do drink alcohol, especially right before they're going to get on that stage. But in general, yeah, from time to time in moderation. And there's a way to do it. Even if you're not a bodybuilder, there's a way to incorporate drinking alcohol and still staying on your path. Granted that you're not actually drinking alcohol all the time. And when I say staying on your path, I'm talking about on your path to growing muscle or on your path to burning fat. Of course, it's not ideal. It would be best if you just didn't drink alcohol. But if you enjoy it, like, you're a human being. And anything that restricts you from living a life that you can incorporate this into, like, you shouldn't have to want to deviate from living this lifestyle. You should do whatever it is in your power to make sure that you can live that healthy lifestyle, which is eating correctly and training properly, without having any obstacles that could deter you mentally from like just going down that path and living that lifestyle. So if you like to drink alcohol every now and again, and you want to be healthy and fit and all that stuff, and you feel like you can't do both of them, you're gonna like end up choosing to live the life that you want to live anyway, right? So why not find a way to incorporate it and balance it, right? Of course, you're not gonna be drinking every weekend or in the week, but you're gonna enjoy a drink every now and again. Discipline, all right? So that answers that question there. And that actually brings us to the end of the top 5 questions that I get asked a lot. So I'm going to look at some of the questions I got here on TikTok and comments I've got here on TikTok and Instagram, because Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube was a little bit quiet today. So I'm going to just scroll through and actually shout out some people that joined, because I appreciate each and every single one of you. Sheldon, what's happening? I see you, dog. I see you, boy. Talia, what's good? Pose down guy, what's happening? If I said Bri, he knows what's up. Oh, Miriam's still in the house. I'm gonna check your question right now. So I already answered the do you count macros one. Yes, typically towards the show. Tatu, what's good? Akash, I see you. Bianca in the house, what's good? SD, what's happening? I see you, dog. Ashmeet, what's good? Tristan, he's the GOAT. Jamal, what's up? Bossy, what's good? I see you, Michael. SD says, you fat and it's your fault, all right? Yeah, boy. He knows what's up. He knows what's up, gangway. Bianca says, technically, everybody has a six-pack. Some are just more defined than others. Absolutely. And when you say some are more defined than others, and I would agree with that, I would say that it has mostly everything to do with the body fat percentage of the person, because that's the number one determining what the fuck's wrong with me? Determining variable when it comes to how visible that six-pack that we all have is. All right? So I love that you dropped that nugget there. Nanas, what's up? Miriam says, is it more important to maintain calories or macros then? That's actually a good question, because in a sense, it's kind of the same. But what I would value more personally as a human being, that even if I weren't bodybuilding, I would value focusing mostly on consuming my macros. Okay? Calories in versus calories out will always work, and that's like the number one, like, that's just what it is. Like, that'll always work. Oh, Facebook just crapped out. My phone just died. I didn't even know that. Peace, Facebook. Anyway, I'm going to upload this to over there. But anyway, so as you said, I would say like focusing. So calories in versus calories out is like, it's king. Like, that is the the bread and butter of essentially what's going to happen when your body either gains weight or loses weight or maintains weight. However, typically with calories, it's a lot more difficult to, we'll say, properly incorporate foods that you enjoy while getting towards your goals. So, for example, you can give yourself a limit, and this is just a random example. You can give yourself a limit of like 2,800 calories per se. You say, every day, I'm going to eat 2,800 calories because 2,800 calories is like a deficit for you. This is just an example, Miriam, all right? So 2,800 calories is a deficit for you. So you're going to stick to that. It's cool. It works. You start losing weight. And then you get to a point where you want to have pizza, okay? And now you're like, or pizza, burgers, whatever the fuck it is. Now you want to incorporate that in and have it sort of match with your calories. It's a lot less accurate to count calories of a pizza than it would be to count the macros of that pizza and incorporate the macros. Like macros are just more accurate, right? And also, you can make 2,800 calories from eating, like, say and this is just a random example, 300 grams of fat, 600 grams of carbs, and like 7 grams of protein. You can make like 2,800 calories from that. And that's not going to be ideal when it comes to protein synthesis. That's not going to be ideal when it comes to, you know, your digestive system, because that's a lot of carbs and a lot of fats that you'll be consuming in 2,800 calories. When in 2,800 calories, you can get an adequate amount of protein. Say the number for you is 150 grams of protein. An adequate amount of carbs, between 200 and 400 grams of carbs. And an adequate amount of fats, which would be like anything under, we'll say 70 to 60 grams of fat. Okay? And having the macros where, you know, it's 150 grams of protein, 200 to 300 grams of carbs, and under 80 grams of fat, as opposed to almost no protein, a shit ton of carbs, and an even more amount of fats that you're consuming, your body is going to metabolize those two things in a different way, right? So they're both 2,800 calories, and they both essentially will help you lose that weight because you're in a deficit. Just an example of you being in a deficit. But you will be able to retain and yield more muscle by idolizing or focusing on the amount of macros that you're getting that comprise that 2,800 calorie limit that you have set for yourself. Does that make sense? So essentially, it's like focusing on macros, making sure that you're getting a good amount of macros, can retain your muscle as you like lose weight, or even help you build muscle as you lose weight. Yeah, and that's possible. You can build muscle and lose weight at the same time, right? Give you an adequate amount of carbs so you can reduce the bloating, okay? Have some mercy on your gastrointestinal tract, and get an adequate amount of fats. It's like eating omnivorous and like normally, and then having like, we'll say, a keto diet. Keto was like you're pretty much eating mostly fats, no carbs. They can both be 2,800 calories, and they can both put you in a deficit. But the way your body metabolizes food when you're in a keto state, and the way that it metabolizes food when you're not keto, are two different things. So if you're to try to have a little bit of carbs when you're on a keto diet, or a little bit more than you should, your body's going to react all fucked up, right? But they're both 2,800 calories. The way that you eat them is the macros. Like that's what the differentiating factor is. So I would honestly put the most emphasis on macros, because they're most important. And if you abide by the macros that are required for your specific body, you'll already be in control of your physique to the point where you're building muscle and burning fat at the same time without having to like really think about calories. Unless, of course, it's really slow for you, and if you want to accelerate that, you look at the variables that you can control. Typically, protein stays the same. Carbs and fat are the ones that you'd move around and remove or add to be in a surplus or a deficit, because calories in versus calories out is king. All right, so that was a long one, but that was a really good question, and I really wanted to nail it home. So I hope that I helped you out there, girl. Hope it answered your question. Bianca says, you don't really need to train your abs anyway. Like you said, many other exercises help your core muscles, which includes abdominal muscles. Exactly. Squats included. Like if you're squatting, like alone, you have to brace your core. And if you brace your core, you're flexing your abs. believe it or not. You breathe in, you breathe out, but you have to keep that core. And when I say core, I'm not just talking about your abs. Your core is in your lower back too, your erector spinae, all that stuff. That has to stay firm for you to hold the weight on your back or whatever it is, if you're doing front squat on your collarbone, for you to complete that movement. Benching, anything, any press, in order to be upright and executing good form, you are braced in the core. So your core is always active, even sitting upright in a chair. Although it's not as active, it's bracing my core. If I'm sitting correctly, that is, without slouching, my shoulders are in the position that they're supposed to be in, so on and so forth. So I love that you said that there. Bianca also says, even something as simple as standing engages your core. Absolutely. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Braven Man 586, I appreciate you for joining. Bianca's like, how's your day going? I'm rocking. I'm chilling. I had a little bit of a late back and shoulder workout today, but like we got it done. I ain't complaining. We had some fun. All right. And TikTok, hang on. I'm going to be reading through some of those comments and questions in a bit. Just going to finish up on Insta, and then I'm going to dip out. I'm actually like 10 minutes deeper than I'm supposed to be in here right now, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Bianca says, another thing. I know you wanted to be a bodybuilder earlier on. Either that, or you were just tired of being skinny all the time, and the bodybuilding aspirations came later. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true, because I did do the freestyle wrestling and the football at the same time. And then I was like, yeah, this is dope. Like, I've been a second in Canada. I know how to fight. Like, I love the discipline of the martial art. However, I hated fucking being 62 kilos to wrestle. And I hated just being light, and I hated being skinny. So the bodybuilding sort of took over. It was, that passion was always there. Like, I would always train hard in the gym and then go train on the mats and do whatever we had to do for wrestling, and then whatever we had to do on the field of football. But I always stuck to the gym. Like, that's the thing I did by myself, which helped me excel in both fields, both football and in freestyle wrestling. And it made me excel over my peers because I was just doing more work than them. But it was the gym. It was really the gym that brought me to that level. So yeah, it's funny you notice that. And for those of you guys and girls who don't know, Bianca knows me personally. We went to high school together, so she knows. Bianca also says, outside of your determination, how did you manage to balance your job, and all the demands of being a bodybuilder, including meals, water, and working out? So, that one is actually a tricky one. And like, not the question. It's an easy question to answer for me, but it was a tricky one for me. Like, when it comes to how I actually did that. Right now, I'll be honest with you guys and girls, it's a whole lot easier, because I'll be honest with you, like, I have the freedom to train whenever I want, because I run an online coaching business now. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I like work for myself, so I don't have to like have a lunchtime at this time and fucking this, that, and this, and lick boots and all that crap. So it's easier for me now. Way easier for me now. I can train whenever I want, eat whenever I want, drink all the fucking water in the world, can drink a lake anytime. But when I was working as a security guard for like 5 years, and I would work like 2 jobs. So I'd work Monday through Friday at my 9 to 5, and then I'd work Friday to Sunday as a bouncer. Right? I had almost no fucking time to eat my meals, no fucking time to drink my water, and barely any time to train. I still trained, but it was like I'd have to like cut a set or 2 out because there just wasn't enough time. And when I say that, I mean that, because right after the gym, I'd go home and I'd work on my online coaching business. So I was like back to back to back to back to back from like the moment I got up, right? So the way I actually was able to balance out my specifically the job and the eating was, to be honest with you, I had to be a bit of a dick. Like, my boss, and this is, well, I was a security guard, so I had a little bit more freedom. I'm not sure what jobs you guys and girls may be working, but I had a little bit more freedom as a security guard. So what I would do is, on my patrols, I have my, I thought I was so slick. I wasn't really that slick. But I'd get my meals, throw them in the microwave, yeah, throw them in the microwave on one floor, and then throw my other 2 meals on the microwave on another floor, heat them both up, do a lap, just pretend that I'm actually doing my work. Like, I'm doing it, I'm radioing in, doing all my shit, whatever I have to do, writing my note. And then I know on my timer when the microwave food is done. So I'd go do a lap, stop in that kitchen really quickly, pull my meals out, and it would be 2 at a time always. I'd bring 4 meals to work, and I'd go in there and I'd start scarfing my meal. I'd tell another guard to just stand out for me, watch if the manager's going to come around, and like, if she's doing a lap, radio me, I'm going to fucking stand in the corner where she can't see me from the window and fucking eat. I literally had to be a little bit of a dick and like break the rules at work if I wanted to get my meals in, to be honest with you. And it sucked. And I fucking hated living that lifestyle. which is why I was so propelled and motivated to like start my own online coaching business. So I didn't have to fucking lie to people or like hide from my manager to eat my meals. It sucked. It really fucking sucked. Like I remember a couple of times I got caught, and she goes in. Her name was Karen. Go figure. Matt, what are you doing here eating? She knew I was a bodybuilder. Like she knew from the interview, like I was a bodybuilder. And I'm like, I have to eat my meals, Karen. She's like, yeah, I know, but like, God, dude. And she was honestly, bless her soul, she wasn't even a bad boss, but like, she was like an actual Karen. Like she's like, you got to do this and that, and it's not necessary, but she's like, you got to do this and that. And when I get my supervisor or anybody else, another superior, they're like chilling. One of them actually loves bodybuilding, so he's like, yo, Matt, I got your back. You go to the fucking kitchen, I'm gonna stand guard for you, bro. I'm gonna keep 6. So you fucking eat those meals, and if some shit happens, I'm gonna text you. Not even radio, because she's on the same radio. Sometimes you go on our own frequency, sometimes you just text me, right? So I had to get people to look out for me. I had to eat my fucking meals behind the scenes, hiding and shit. I would go into the shuttle van, because as guards we had shuttle vans. It was like an auction site we worked at, and I would fucking have my hot meals in there, drive to like this weird part of the parking lot, and just like duck my head in and start eating. I looked like a crackhead for bodybuilding. Swear to God. And it was even worse with the water, because I'd have to go back and forth to the fountain to fill up my bottle and like remember how many bottles I drank, because I didn't bring the liter jug. I wasn't allowed to. Fucking Karen, whatever. And then I would fill it up and use. It was like 700 milliliters, so I'd have to like always count in my head. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm at 4 liters yet. Fuck it, I'm gonna drink an extra one just to be sure. Like shit like that. I really had to like play on my tiptoes and walk on eggshells. But I fucking made it happen because no fucking excuses. And I really wanted it that bad. Like, you guys don't understand, eh? Like, I was willing to lose my job for this shit. And bodybuilding, for those of you that don't know, doesn't really pay you. Like, bodybuilding itself, unless you're like the top fucking 10 in the world, not even that, top 5 in the world, doesn't pay you. I just love the fitness lifestyle so much that I would literally do anything for it. Like anything. And that's just what I had to sacrifice, right? So to answer your question there, Bianca, how did you manage, balancing a job and the demands of being a bodybuilder, including meals and water and working out? I had to break fucking rules. I broke so many rules to upkeep my physique. I broke so many rules to like stay true to my initial dream of being a bodybuilder and one day, being an online coach. And one day, hopefully, opening a gym, right? Like a seed was planted in me a long time ago, and you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Mr. G. So it just didn't make sense for me to cut corners on my own dream to work for somebody else, right? Because I knew that, and at the end of the day, I wasn't going to be there forever, and that I will always be in the gym forever. And I told all my friends this, and I'll quote it again, and I'll say it on this live stream for y'all guys and girls to know this. When I die, bury me with 2 40-pound dumbbells, because that's how the fuck I'm going out. Period. I'm lifting in heaven. Or hell. I hope it's heaven. But yeah, you feel me? Miriam's like, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. You're most welcome, girl. Come anytime, ask questions, drop comments. I really do appreciate your support. I love it from the top, middle, and bottom of my heart. Mike, what's up? Yeah, he's like, fuck them rules. Karen's Karening. Yeah, man. That's what it was. Like, God bless her soul. She wasn't like a bad woman or anything. But like, there were times where I was just like, fuck, man. Like, can you let me be? Like, don't you see what I'm doing here? Like, what the fuck? Bianca's like, I get that it sucked, but at least you didn't get fired. No, COVID came in, so I was like, peace out, not coming back. Feces, we donezo. And then Bianca says again, unless you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger level, huh? Yeah, yeah, basically. Unless you're like winning Olympias, winning the Arnold Classic, winning like the top shows, you don't get shit really. It's actually an expensive sport, bodybuilding. It's really expensive. And if you're not really like that serious about it, you shouldn't do it because it's just gonna drain your pockets. Take it from me. But I really love this shit and I will die for this shit. So best believe I'm gonna risk everything for it. All right. So that's all on Insight Got for now. I'm gonna just scan through some of the stuff we got here on TikTok. 227 likes. I appreciate you guys. You guys are fucking dope. I see you, Joel. Let's read through some of this shit over here. All right. I'm gonna skip these random ones that are talking about Naruto and like TikTokers and shit because we're not here for that shit. Hope you have an amazing day. 5-star forever. I appreciate you. You know what it is. I hope you do as well. I hope you have a sick ass weekend. FW Ziegtard says, I really enjoy, I guess, Sugar. I think that's what you mean. Sugar on your cheat day. Yeah, do your thing, man. It's your cheat day. Well, not cheat day. Have a cheat meal. There's a difference between a cheat meal and a cheat day. What's up, dog? There's a difference. I wouldn't do a cheat day. I would do a cheat meal. Okay. And a meal would the cheat meal's so big that it would cover 2 meals, so I wouldn't need a whole cheat day. That's not necessary. But anyway, just putting that out there. If you got that question, or another question based off of what I just said, just hit me up in the DMs and I got you, bro. Um, Lane Moore says pre-workout and creatine. I just started taking both. Nothing wrong with either. I personally don't take pre-workout anymore. I just supplement with caffeine pills because it's like simpler, it's easy. Okay, but creatine is something that I never stopped using. People say load with creatine and then take a break. I don't give a shit. I just take 5 grams every single day consistently. Even if I was to not use it for a while and start using it again, I wouldn't do the loading phase thing. It's just a waste of money. 5 grams each and every single day. Keep your creatine levels the same. They'll peak out anyways and just maintain that. So that's for you. Pre-workout and creatine work well. Sometimes you'll find a matrix where they're actually mixed in together. So nothing, not a damn thing to be worried about. Nothing to be worried about there. Aaron Gallagher, what's up? Aaron, I see you. Hey, can you name 5 soccer players? No, I'm not doing that. Skinny Legend 14. OMG, you're so light, bestie. Gang, you know what's up. Appreciate you. Gucci 4 Days says, what's up, homie? What's up, dog? Hope you're having a sick day. Says, damn, he's got a computer brain. I don't know everything in the world. I just know what I'm telling you. So I appreciate you. I really fucking appreciate that. Like, you're a real one for that. Hey, slow down. I don't even know what bread is. Get the fuck out of here, Gucci for Days. You kill me, man. And then Woody Lobes gave me some sunglasses. I appreciate you. Adrian, hey, what's up? I see you. Someone says you're here from a comment. 4 says, what's a healthy deficit? A healthy deficit, it varies for each and every single human being. Okay, depending on what your physical activity level is, depending on what how tall you are, what you weigh, like, and honestly, how aggressive you're trying to lose weight. It's 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, 4 pounds a week. Again, I recommend between 1 and 2 pounds being like ideal. There's so many variables and it's different for everybody. So honestly, bro, hit me up in the DMs and I can hook you up and help you out with that question. All right. So sorry, noob 5 says, how long you been working out? For bodybuilding, fucking what now? Bodybuilding since 2017 November. That's when I started competing. So this November would make like 5 years. This November, something like that, 4 or 5 years. But in general, since I was like 11, but I had my first gym session at 13, but I wasn't consistent. I wasn't eating properly. But was working out hard for like 4 years, naturally. Sam, I see you, bro. Hey, what's up? Hope you're having a sick day. Kenny, what's up? The Egg Gang 1, yo, what's up? I see you, dog. Thanks for the follow, man. You're fucking real one. You're dope, man. I see you, bro. I see you. Tay, hey, I see you, girl. What's up? Fuck Reality says, what's up? What's up, yo? I appreciate you. Mark Y, appreciate the join. 227 like TikTok, y'all rock. Wasn't really any questions, but just a lot of love. I see you guys. Hope you have a sick ass weekend, yo. Fuck Reality, thanks for the rose, the 2, the 3 roses, the 4 roses. You're dope. God loves you. 5, 6, 10, 11, 13, 15. I can't even say it. So much love. So much love. 30 roses. So much love. So much fucking love. You're the dopest. I fuck with you. Let's check this one out over here. I gotta think another question. So a couple things. So Bianca says, oh geez, Big Matt opening up a gym. I got it. The Vegeta Pump Academy. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my head. I'll tell you when I tell you. When it's there, it's there. When the gym is there, it's there. I'll show it. I'll show y'all. Put money on it. Let's go. I love that. Yo, you actually cracked me up, Bianca. Marion asks me, does it cause water retention? I think she's referring to creatine. Yes, in a way. So creatine can, and actually it will retain water, but not in the way that you think it does. I mean, yes, it's subcutaneous water, like you will look thicker in a sense. However, creatine's ideal purpose is to increase your ATP, and I'm not gonna get all sciencey and shit on you guys and girls, because like I understand not a lot of you guys and girls understand all these terms, but ATP, when that increases, your strength increases. Creatine for years has been researched, and they found a direct correlation between consistent creatine consumption and an increase in ATP, which allows you to have that extra 1 rep, you know, extra 2 reps, even whatever it is. Like it helps you push to the next level, honestly. However, creatine does biovolumize your muscle as well, right? So it makes your muscle retain a lot more water. It's not like your body in general, but like it focuses mainly on your muscle retaining more water and staying more hydrated. And when it retains more water in your muscle expands and biovolumizes, which is why when you take creatine, you'll notice that your muscles will actually expand and they'll actually get a little bit bigger. They look a little bit bigger when you're on creatine. I swear to God. It's not because you just grew magic muscle. It's like, no, your muscle is now retaining more water and it's expanding the muscle cells. Make sense? Bianca says, just like The Rock in Who's in Shop at the diner, eating his giant stack of pancakes plus the bacon and eggs. Absolutely, yo. All the fucking way. Props, what's up? Lizzie, I see you. She's like, my ass is here. Thank you for joining. You know what it is. We're fucking rolling for what now? 45 minutes. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. We were rolling for a while. A while. Hey, girl, I see you. I'm going to wave at you. You guys are the dopest. You guys are honestly the dopest. Honestly, you guys are the dopest. Like, you guys are the dopest. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say. 234 likes on TikTok. We are rolling today. Fuck's sake. We are rolling today. All right. 2440. Okay. You know what, people? If you got any questions, let them run. Ask your questions. Ask your questions. My back. Shit. Ask your questions, and then we will roll out. I'm already here like 25 over. How long have you been training? I answered that question actually earlier on. I will say in total about 10 years, but seriously about 5 years, about half of that. Oh shit, Bianca. Oh, you asked a question. What does ATP mean again? Okay, so okay, for those of you that don't know, I was talking about ATP just a couple of seconds ago. Um, and it's what increases when you take creatine, right? It's like the main thing that increases when you take creatine, right? So it stands for adenosine triphosphate, adenosine triphosphate. So you can check that out. Check that out. Adenosine or adrenosine triphosphate. Yeah, adenosine triphosphate. That's what it is. That's what it is. And when that does increase, your strength does increase, and your like 1 rep max becomes like you're stronger than that now. Like you have the ability to push harder each and every single set. It's also great for your endurance. Owen Chisholm says, I've been gaining lots of weight lately. I used to weigh 208. Now I weigh 270. What's a good way to cut? Again, bro, focus on macros. Of course, calories in versus calories out is king, right? You want to be making sure that you're putting yourself in a caloric deficit in order to be losing, I would say, 1 to 2 pounds a week. Don't try to get aggressive with it and lose like 5 pounds a week because you'll lose a lot of muscle. You'll feel exhausted as fuck. It'll throw off a lot of your hormones and make you really stressed. That's not sustainable, right? So try to focus on being in a slight deficit. So whatever your maintenance calories are, just slightly under that and chill there, right? But once you get your calories there, consistently show up in the gym 3 to 5 times a week and bust your ass. All right? If you got any questions regarding that specifically, shoot me a message after this live stream, bro. I'm gonna hook you up. You feel me? All right, people. That's it. That's all. We've reached like God knows what 50 minutes on this live stream today, and we went deep. We went deep. Oh, some of y'all went and message over here. Who was like, bro, why do you sound like MW2 lobby with your mic? I'm fat. I will live up if I just eat this. Bro, you kill me the fuck up, bro. Yo, this guy's joke. Firecracker. Yeah, it does. It does. You know what? I'm gonna take that into account. I can't pronounce your name the first comment. I'm gonna take that into account. Thank you. I actually really appreciate it. Let me show. Can I like this? Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Thanks for being honest. Yeah, yo, we're out. Let's go. I'm gonna hop off on TikTok over here. Later, y'all. All right, TikTok, we are done. Twitter, we're out. And like Facebook honestly died hours ago. Not hours, but it died there. Peace out, Facebook. It's gone. Okay, so she got a couple more questions or topics. Okay, that's done there. Cool. Bianca says, "What's a healthy body fat slash muscle ratio to have when you're looking to work out?" So like, okay, like what's the maximum amount of fat you can lose while still having enough to support your bodily function? So that really depends on what you're doing in the gym or what your goal is. Like, if you want to become a bodybuilder and like, even if like you're a bodybuilder, like it depends on where you are in your season. If you're getting ready to go on stage and present your physique, and you want to get like bone dry, shredded, no water under your skin, barely any fat, like close to 3-5% body fat, like really, really shredded, then honestly, it's not healthy in general to get down to that point. So I couldn't really even recommend like what would be healthy at that point because it's an extreme and nobody should like try to get to that point. However, if you're talking about just an everyday average walking human being that just wants to look lean, I would say anything under 15% body fat would be excessive. 15% body fat is actually really good. Like you look great at 15% body fat. 15, 12%. 12% is like amazing. Like when someone is really 12%, you think they're like 8% or 7%. They're not. They're 12%. And I'm telling you that like personally because I'm that one of those people. Like people think I'm like shredded like 5% all the time. Like, nah, bro. Like I'm between like 9 and 11%, 12%. You know what I mean? 12% at like when I'm like heavier than 215. I'm like 15%. 12, 15% when I'm heavier than 215, right? And I stand about 5'9", right? So like that's for me. And it's going to be different for every human being. Again, so many variables on how their body sort of distributes fat and the water that they hold. Like there's just too many variables, right? But I would say general rule of thumb, anything under 15% body fat is a bit excessive. Like it's a bit excessive, right? And anything under 10%, you start to lose a lot of like bodily functions or losing control over the order of your bodily functions, right? So it becomes more difficult to like bend your joints and stuff when you get really shredded, right? You get tired a lot more because your hormones are out of whack because you don't have enough fat on your body, right? So anything around 15%, I'd say. She says, "Have a good Friday and an even greater weekend." Right the fuck back at you, Bianca. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I hope that you're still basking in the clean house. Tatu's like, "Yo, how many phones do you have?" I have 4 phones, bro. 4 phones and a laptop for YouTube. That's the answer to your question. What's up, bro? I see you, dog. All right, that's it. That's all. We're back again on Monday with another live stream. Until then, have the sickest, most amazing, safe weekend. We are out. Let's go. Oh shit, we're still over here on fucking. Peace out.